Bitcoin is flying and the general crypto market is absolutely green over the last few days, and it's the first time we've seen it since the ETF approval, where there was a lot of hype and rumination and a lot of people just buying for the sake of buying because they thought it was going to go up. Now we're actually seeing some general uptrends without any particular news driving that. It's just generally a lot of confidence coming back into the market. If we take a look at the crypto bubbles for the week as well as the day, we can just see that over the past week we've got Casper up 30%, which is pretty huge. Ordinal's up 10%, Tau, which is up 10%, Rune, which is up 17%, and we actually spoke about that on the last couple of videos. And if you look at it, it's just absolutely rocketed since the 6th. So we spoke about it around the end of January. So you've already seen around a 20% gain since then. And this is one that I just labeled as a really good project. I think people should be looking to invest in. So if you have been watching the videos and you subscribed, you would have known about that and you would have seen a nice 20% gain up till now. But what you will notice about this chart is it's a lot of names you recognize. We even see Ethereum up 8%. And generally speaking, when confidence in Bitcoin goes up, people get a lot more confidence in the highest forms of altcoins that have a lot of utility and a lot of use cases. So generally the ones with the bigger market caps are going to see those rises first as the confidence starts to spill over into the altcoin market. People are going to be buying ones that they trust and generally have a lower potential return of say 5 to 10x and maybe a little bit more, probably looking at around a 10x on Solana, etc., but not actually investing yet into the proper degen altcoins. We haven't quite got that spillover yet. We're not quite at the full degen altcoin market yet, but we are seeing a lot of the higher altcoins that generally have a lot of utility, a lot of the ones that we discuss on this channel generally. Though we do see that RNDR is actually down 1.5%. I just think there's been a lot of hype around it and a lot of people going into it, so maybe it's slightly overvalued. But generally speaking, what will happen is people will buy a lot of one coin, so for example Casper, and then once that absolutely skyrockets, they'll start to take profits and you'll see a lot of up and downs. So obviously this is not a good buy right now. In the long term, it's a great buy, but I wouldn't say this is particularly a great buy right now. You want to be looking into the ones that people haven't cycled into yet, but are still in this nature of big altcoins, as well as having a lot of utility. So something like RNDR, I haven't looked at the RNDR chart yet. So for example, if we take a look at ICP, we haven't actually seen that huge rally yet. Since those big dips after the ETF approval, we have seen it move upwards, but we haven't seen a huge rally. We've just been trending up a channel pattern into the upside. So I would say potentially ICP is a really good buy. I wouldn't go all in at this point as it can still potentially fall down to these levels. We have actually seen it been building high lows though, which is a good sign. It's generally following this sort of pattern. So I wouldn't expect it to come down to there, but this is an all-in buy zone. I would say at this point, you want to just be averaging in. A lot of the buying opportunities are seen after the ETF approvals. The problem is as we start to see all of these altcoins as well as Bitcoin trending upwards, there's going to be a lot of people taking profit because there's going to be a lot of people who got in around here or around here and they just want to take maybe a 20 to 30% gain. So that's something to be mindful of. So you don't want to be doing the usual FOMO in and just go absolutely crazy because there is still potential downsides. But the current state of the market looks very, very bullish. I'm very bullish on this market. There's nothing sort of holding it back at this point. Even if we look at Bitcoin, we can see a huge rally all the way up to where we are at the ETF approval. We're sort of here at the moment. We're pretty much just ready to break this resistance. When we do, I would expect huge upward rally. Even if we look at the liquidation map, we broke through the largest part of the potential liquidation leverage here at the sort of 46,000 mark. So we've actually broken through this now. And if you look at the liquidation map, there's not really much liquidation leverage above to sort of affect the price too much. So the potential is it could just smash through 50K quite easily, I think. And we could start to see a rally even further as we get closer to the Bitcoin halving in April. Generally, we always see a run up to the halving event. And this is what I believe that we're seeing now. You can also see the same in the stock market. The stock market's absolutely rallying. So I don't think it's the best time to buy, but for certain coins where people haven't cycled into yet, like ICP or potentially some others where you haven't seen a huge rise yet, but you know that they have great use cases. So potentially it's generally best if you have a favorite coin and you've seen it go up a lot, just wait and you want to wait to buy into it. It's probably not time to do that. But if you've seen some that haven't quite rallied yet and you're very confident on the project and you've done your research, it's still a good time to get in. I wouldn't go all in, but you could average it a little bit in to start to get the potential upside of what's to come, as there's definitely a lot more upside that we're going to see coming from obviously like Bitcoin as well as the top altcoins, especially Solana. I think Solana's come back up to its $105. If we take a look at this fib chart, we can see that it was trading in this area for a long time and we've struggled to break that, but recently we have started to break that towards the end of January, as well as now we're starting to break that. So I think once we get past this area, I think Sol will start to really take off. We could potentially see highs of up to 150, particularly because there's such adoption for Sol. It's not really a nuanced crowd who are like, this is the best coin ever. They're not really like parading around like Sol is the best thing in the world. It just is one of the best things in the world. It has so much application. There's so many apps being built on it. So we still have a potential of a 5 to 10x on Sol from here. So even still, I think it's a good time to be buying Sol. Your other coins, like I say, just what people cycle into. I don't think there's as much cycling as goes on in Solana as there is for a lot of the other top altcoins. But if you are looking to get into your FOMO 1000x altcoins, I don't even think we've broken the start of this market yet. So I think a lot of these, if you just think that there is some narrative behind it, maybe like Toshi, obviously because it is the CEO's cat of Coinbase, then coins like this still have a lot to run, potentially 100x. Potentially 100x, obviously, because we haven't actually seen money push into those yet. We still have a lot of smart money. We still have a lot of retail investors who know a lot about crypto, who are just investing in projects because they know or like the project and they believe in it. We haven't quite got to that retail FOMO investor yet who doesn't know anything about crypto and just wants to see the biggest gain. So until we get those investors coming in, when crypto really starts to break the news quite a lot and everyone's like, oh my God, Bitcoin's hit 50K, 60K, then that's when we're going to get this silly money coming in and just FOMOing into projects. And that's the money that you want to take. This is the people that you will crush because you know more than them. You know when to get out. You've watched the videos. You know the dates of the end of the Bitcoin. You know the dates at the end of the bull run, and you're just ready to get out when all of these are still holding the bag because they FOMOed in, they didn't know anything, they bought at the top way up here, and they're just regretting it once again. So we are in a good state. The altcoin market is just starting, but we are only starting in the top tier of the altcoins, and we're going to see quite a good rally in those before we start to spill over into the lower altcoin market, where they're much more speculative, much more high risk, but you have the higher potential return. You have the higher potential for return. So if you are wanting to get into those, it's still a very, very good time to do that. In terms of your higher altcoins, like I said, I would just see if people are cycling into them, see how it's been moving, because there is going to be slight pullbacks here and there. So those will be your better times to get in. So you can start averaging in. I wouldn't put all your money into those bigger altcoins yet. But yeah, I think I'm very bullish on this market. I think we have a lot to run and it's quite exciting that we're starting to see a big takeoff. But anyway, if you like the video, like and subscribe. Thanks.